Hello, welcome to Jasmin Jessii. Let's talk about woody landscape plants pruning. So let's do learn the best method to control a plant's shape, encourage flower or fruits production, and discourage disease. The healthy and beauty of ornamental plants depend to a great extent on proper pruning. Pruning allows you to control the plant's shape, formal or informal, encourages flower or fruit productions, and discourage disease by letting light and air into the interior of the plant. This is called cultural pruning. For most plants, pruning is recommended during dormancy after first frost and before growth begins in spring or immediately after flowering. Cultural pruning is done on a seasonal or annual basis. Urgent pruning is done for safety reasons such as removal or limbs that pose hazard to people or buildings, or to remove broken diseases or dead parts of a plant. Successful pruning. The key point to understand about pruning is that the new growth simulated by pruning develops close to where the cut is made. The bud at the end of a branch, called the terminal bud, release growth hormones that suppress buds along the branch length. Literal buds from growing, making the cut close to another bud minimizes regrowth to that one. Single bud, it will then start to grow, becoming a new terminal bud. This reduces sucker growth. Pruning removes growth points called buds. If you have a branch that extends beyond the canopy of a shrub or beyond when you want it, and you mix your cut that point, both repressed buds and dormant buds may grow. This creates dense bushy growth at the branch tips, shading out the leaves below, and makes a plant look leggy, making your cut inside the canopy of foliage with suppress excessive new growth. However, the foliage will develop to where it's needed for a fuller, more attract shrubs. Pruning has a localized effect in that most of the new growth occurs near the cut. The basics principle applies to almost all ornamentals for complete pruning success. Use the specific pruning technique appropriate to your particular plants at the right time, and use the correct pruning tool. Time to prune flower or fruits. Different plants produce the flower at different time of the year. The buds that produce that flower also from a different time of the year. Your pruning schedule should be based on accurate knowledge of the particular plant. If the plant begins blooming before May, prune immediately after blooms fade. If it begins to bloom in May or later, prune in late February or early March before the start of new spring growth. This is called a May roll. Foliage. Plants grow primarily for their green foliage, such as hollies and boxwood, can be pruned from January through midsummer. Annual pruning. Some shrubs can be given a new lease on life through several renewal pruning. This requires cutting the whole plant down to a stump. This can be done on most broadleaf shrubs such as hollies, azaleas, and camellias. Hollies, azaleas, and other non-grafted plants should be pruned to within 4 to 6 inches of the ground. Grafted plants such as some camellias should be pruned to within 14 to 16 inches off the ground to avoid simulating growth from the root stuck below the graft. Junipers and the boxwood should never be pruned to shrubs. Narrow leaf plants like junipers do not have buds on their main trunk and often die after renewal pruning. Boxwood can produce growth from dormant buds, but it is often too slow good to health of the plant. Tools for pruning. Tools used for pruning. To do a good job of pruning, you need quality sharp tools designed for the task at hand. The most commonly used in hand prunes, these shears can be used on branches 3/4 inches in diameter or smaller. There are two types, anvil and scissors. The anvil type is the lighter and less expansive, but it crushed a small portion of stem. Used properly, the scissor type cuts closer without crushing the stem and usually lasts longer. Keep tools sharp, lubricated, and clean. Some shears and loopers are made with removable blades, making sharpening and replacing blades easier. Clean and coat tools with light oil after use to prevent rust. When pruning disease branches, dip the shears in a disinfectant 10% chlorine bleach solution or rubbing alcohol after each cut. If you don't use disinfectant, dip this disease will separate to the healthy plants. Always clean and oil blades after using disinfectant. Thanks for watching.